Hello there, my name's Peter Urey of the Fearless Partnership, and in this short video clip I'm going to talk a little bit about brainstorming, and in particular some of the features of Mind Manager 2012 which lend themselves to the brainstorming process. Now, before going too far, I'll just share with you some of my experiences of the process of brainstorming, and I've actually found that it's one of those things that, for whatever reason, tends to raise a little bit of anxiety in people. And I think this is because brainstorming is, to some extent, the opposite of working. Brainstorming is working on the business, working is working in the business. And when you're in a business, you're working on sequences and processes, and one thing naturally follows the other, and you know where you are, and it feels safe, and it actually feels like work. Brainstorming is working on the business, and it's about helicoptering out of your current circumstances, out of where it feels safe and you know what's coming next, and allowing the brain to wander where it will, to use imagination, to go different alleys and explore things that might work and things that might not work, and to be creative. And if you've really got into the habit of turning up at work and churning through process, then brainstorming might feel a bit alien to you. But it really shouldn't be. We are actually doing it all the time, whether we like it or not. We do have to evolve, but there is a sequence to that process. And Mind Manager 2012 lends itself very neatly to the sequence of looking for new ideas. Now, I've adapted some of my thinking, from business experience, and partly from a book called Be Your Own Strategy Consultant by Tony Grundy. But I've taken some of his ideas and radically simplified them and put them into everyday language, as opposed to some of the esoteric business terms that he uses in his book. And I've borrowed heavily from my experience at Hewlett-Packard on the business of looking for new ways to do things and strategic breakthrough thinking. And the process breaks down into three very easy to understand phases. Where are we? Where are we going to go? And how are we going to get there? And amazingly, what tends to happen is people begin with the process of where are we, right, what are we going to do next? And they leave out the options phase. They even don't really fully understand what the nature of the problem is. So it's best to spend at least half of your time in any sort of a brainstorming session, bearing in mind that brainstorming doesn't take place at 9 o'clock and finish at 12 o'clock. It's something that's ongoing, it's operative in your deep subconscious, and you can get at fresh ideas at any time of the day or night. But the idea is that if you understand the dynamic of your current circumstance and what it is, what are the factors at play that are preventing you from making the progress you feel you deserve to make, then unless you know where you're starting, if you don't know where you're starting, it's hard to know where you should be going next. So the tools in 2012, some of the grids in particular, and some of the business challenge questions in the brainstorming section, lend themselves to spending a serious part of your time on understanding what are the dynamic factors at play in our current circumstances. Because you'll generally find that of the things that are happening in your scenario, a couple of them are causing 80% of the blockage. So let's isolate those first. And then let's try and encapsulate the issue for brainstorming in one sentence. You know, how can we grow market share? How can we overcome the problem of? How can we deal with the issue that we face? Try and net it down, having looked right across the marketplace, right? You know, look at lots of different things. The grids work on SWOT analysis. What are our strengths and our weaknesses? Where are opportunities and threats? It looks at pest analysis. What's the political environment, the economic environment, the social environment, the technological environment. What does our world look like as we helicopter above it? What are the forces at play? What are the big forces? What are the small forces? What's making our marketplace bigger? What makes it smaller? Where's the competition? Where is the competition significantly better than us? What features of the product set or the category are customers migrating towards? Are there sections of the market that we dominate and we should protect, or are they under threat? Just gather facts before you move on to stage 2. Now, stage 2 is the brainstorming part of the equation. This is where we start to consider possible ways ahead, and nothing's off limits. And this is where we're off-piste a little bit. What if we did this? What if we did that? I wonder, and we can give ourselves prompts. What if we changed geography? What if we changed our partners? What if we changed the way we deliver our product? What if we decided to merge with another business? There's just every single crazy idea is open for consideration. And again, Mind Manager starts to prompt you for some of those ideas until you get 3 or 4 solutions that start to feel in your gut as though they've got some mileage. And give them a name, option 1, option 2, fly to the moon, dig a hole. It doesn't matter, so long as you can pigeonhole them and roughly understand them. Then in the 3rd stage, it's the filter. This is to decide which of the ideas that we've looked at are the ones that are worth working up. And there are 5 questions that you can ask yourself, and you can use Mind Manager 2012 to capture these in a grid and score them amongst the group of you who are brainstorming. And the questions to ask are, if we did this thing, would we sell more, cut our costs, be able to put our prices up? If we do this thing, will it be easy or will it be difficult? If we do this thing, which of the stakeholders, and that's right across the board of people who are involved, from customers to employees to partners to suppliers, are there any stakeholders who could block this, or are broadly the stakeholders would they be in agreement with this idea? Are we basing this idea purely on gut feel, or have we got supporting scientific, so far as we can get it, supporting market data that says that this is something that the stats back up our gut feel? Because the more objective facts we've got, the better. And then finally, if we were to do this thing, would it give us a long-term sustainable market advantage? It's no point doing what we're doing if others or competition could copy it and be doing it tomorrow. Why would you make the move? It's got to be sustainable. So we ask ourselves the 5 questions, and each question we rate from 0 to 3. So if it's going to be tough to do, we can see it going into straight out of the traps, it's going to be tough, we give ourselves a low mark. If it looks as though we could pull this off, it's relatively easy, we give ourselves a 3. You can see how you've got to be careful with the scoring, but you'll work that out. And broadly, unless an idea is getting 11, 12, 13 at this stage of the filtering process, it's probably not worth taking it a lot further forward.